Hello, everybody. Happy Monday nights. We're here finally. I know how late we are, and I sincerely apologize for the lateness. There was just things that had to happen. I'm trying to take people off hold. I'm really bad at Skype today, guys. Joined by wonderful people. Who should I go first? You know what? We'll go Grocer first. Say hello. Tell them who you are, Grocer.
Hello, people of the internet world. This is Greengrocer, Redgrocer, Portosaurus. What else am I? Bumfights, Nam Santo Industries CEO, Board of Directors, friend of Juncy, friend of casinos.
Oh man.
R.I.P. casinos. Yes. Hello.
You're. Oh man. You might be the most immersed person on either server.
I wouldn't doubt that.
And we also have Nirgon. Say hello, Nirgon. Tell them who you are.
Hey guys, I'm Nirgon. I know you've probably seen me on the boards. I'm all over it. I'm a member of Holocaust on the Red server.
Member of Holocaust. Is that all you are? Just a regular member?
That's all I want to be, man. We got great
all he
leaders. I
wants
don't
to
even
be.
need to. They don't need another leader. They're great.
I like the confidence. I like the blind faith you have in your people.
Of
All right. Well, Nirgon, we're gonna go through the same stuff I run through on just about everybody. Just actually, I don't know anything about your history. How long have you been on the P99 community? How did you find it? Tell us about you, sir. How did you become the undisputed champion of Forum Quest?
There's been many champions of Forum Quest, but I found out about Project 1999 when Blue was pretty early. It was before Kunark. There's still target rings. I heard about it from a real life friend that I played EverQuest with, and started clicking around and playing an enchanter he had. And, one thing leads to another, and you're level 50 all of a sudden and raiding. It's a very different time in service history.
How long did you play on Blue?
Right up until around when they made the Class C, Class R raid stuff.
I see. Is that when you hopped over to Red, or?
I came over to Red when I heard my buddies were getting corpse camped in Fear and being threatened with a 72-hour corpse camp, and I was like, alright, I gotta get back over there. I did come to PvP, not PvE.
You came to be a hero. I like
Yes.
that. I like that
Yeah.
a lot. What about live? When did you get into EQ Live?
Oh man, I saw the ad for EverQuest in PC Gamer,
Mhm.
and I actually started on a Blue server, and I didn't even know there was a PvP server. Then I found out about the PvP server, and I re-rolled there.
Oh man, I was the exact opposite. I clicked Valenczek because it was at the top of the list, and just assumed every other server was the same way as that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't learn until the best of the best that there was non-PvP servers.
I mean, most people look at the server select list, and you saw the Tunair server, the Rallysex server. You probably didn't know what you were getting into. You just kind of picked one at that point. It was before the days where there were, message boards and finding out where all the big guilds are going to play.
Yeah. That's. We actually. Did you play on VZTZ by chance?
I played a couple of iterations of it. I know I played 2.0. I know
Alright.
one of the guys, Kabobber and Genantic, I was playing with Cringe.
Do you remember Keegan?
Oh, really? Doesn't ring a bell.
He was a GM. We found out
yeah,
after the project closed that he was selling plastic butts on the internet.
Oh, yeah. EverQuest servers always got those shit, personalities.
So Keegan was the host of the forums, and he had the pwn.com domain, And the only
Okay.
reason I ever found the EQ emulator is because that was the same domain as the old Valenzac forums, because Keegan hosted our... We didn't like the IGN or the Sony whatever forums, and so this guy, I think he played Mind Bomb back in the day on live, and he started forums, and we just all used his forums. And fast forward, I don't know, 6 years, and now that domain is the VZTZ boards. And so I go there just to like look up old threads from back in the day, and I stumble upon this entire emulator project.
Now here you are.
And now here I am. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
You tell me, man. I don't know how you keep doing what you're doing. You're a great
Oh,
dude.
self-loathing.
Because I realize the people you deal with, like and all the people that I don't like dealing with, those are the only people I really deal with, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's the usual suspects whenever something goes down, right?
I was talking to a friend of mine, and they were like, "Have you ever?" Or they're like, "I was hanging out with my buddy so and so. Have you heard of this person?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, well, he also plays this character." And I'm like, "No, but you need to understand that's probably a really good thing if I've never heard of that person.
Yeah,
Like, if you're on my radar, it's usually for a really bad reason.
and you stay on that radar, don't you?
You stay on that radar for so long. There's people that are still on my radar from VZTZ. And it's just not even fair to them, because they've never done anything wrong on Red 99. Or at least they've never been caught doing anything wrong on Red 99. But I still treat them like they have a rap sheet a mile long, because I remember banning them.
They're likely to repeat previous behavior.
Yeah.
We saw that a lot with people coming from blue over to red. It's like, oh shit, this guy's coming over, get ready. It's like, yeah, he's gonna get banned. Don't worry about it.
I catch flack sometimes from other staff members because there'll be a questionable amount of evidence, but I will just know this person since February of '08, and it just fits their MO, and be like, you know what? I'm suspending them, and they can form petition if they want, but I know they did this. Like, I know they did this.
Well, that happens all the time, sure.
Mm-hmm. And other staff are like, but how can you? And I'm like, because I know I'm right. Like, I can't show it to you. I have nothing to hand you and be like, this is how I know. But I just know. Like,
Getting in trouble on live was a lot easier. I mean, there were GMs and guides everywhere. So if they're on your shit list and they're in trouble with you, I mean, they've probably been just cranking out grief hand over fist or whatever they were doing. Reputation of cheating.
Red is grossly understaffed. It's grossly understaffed, and I'll be the first to admit that. And I've been trying to put in more FaceTime on Red. Even if I can't stick around real long, I'll just, say something in OOC so people know there's staff online.
Yep.
We're trying to get guides specifically for the Red server, as opposed to how people now... Like, everyone we have right now splits their time. Sometime on blue, sometime on red. And I know you guys don't give any shits about blue, but there's a lot of people over there, and they make a lot of problems. And
I know.
And so, a lot of stupid things that guides are perfect for handling. But red needs its own guides that are just dedicated red people, and you play on red, you know how hard it is to find someone who played there, has red experience, but doesn't have a bias or a political favorite. Yeah, it's really hard to do. And there's a couple people, one of them, I know he hasn't really played, but I've known this person for a while, and I know he has EQ PvP experience from live. And I trust him most of all. So I know if he tells me, like, I don't have fraps, but I saw this happen, I know he'll be telling me the truth. And so that's what we need. Like, that's really what we need, is just eyes and ears. We don't need a bunch of power crazed people with high levels of access. We just need eyes and ears, and yeah, that's it. And if you guys are worried about, not you specifically, I'm talking to anybody who plays on Red, but if anyone's worried about that kind of stuff, I was talking to a player, and I won't say the guild name. I was talking to a player on Red earlier today, and they were going on and on about how they don't want to put in a lot of time if their people are just going to get trained off the server. And it's like, you got to help us help you. And it sounds stupid, and cliche words are about to come out of my mouth, but we're a staff of volunteers. And that doesn't mean, like, we don't have to do anything because we're volunteers. That means this isn't the only... Like, if it was up to, like, Nobog and Rogan and me and Darabelle and the rest of the staff, like, if it was up to us, we would just play EQ and do our P99 stuff all day long. And none of us would have jobs, and none of us would need to go to school, and we would just do these things. And when family or significant others came, I would send them away to go fetch me another Hot Pocket. And they would be cool with it, because it would be my perfect world.
Evil doesn't sleep, though. You've noticed that. There's shit going on all hours of the day, and there are people that play on these servers 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can't expect a volunteer staff and someone who is unbiased, someone who is that much stake in things, to be on all the time for nothing. I mean, that's a lot to ask.
It's almost like I'm forgetting what TV show. It was probably from The Wire. Now that I'm thinking of it, but there's this one comment some dude makes about how the cops just work there 9 to 5, but people won't snitch because they have to live there every other hour of the day, and so.
Well, no one wants to turn their buddy in because, they don't want to hurt their guild too, so.
Well, not only that, but there's only 2 guilds. You turn your buddy in, say he gets guild removed for getting the guild in trouble, and then he just goes to the other side.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Well, go ahead, buddy.
Speaking, to this, the other day in EC Tunnel, and speaking of friends of mine, Boobar, the vendor, I saw him turn away 3 Ixars in a row, claiming that he doesn't sell to their type, and that's racism, and we just can't have that on this server. I think that's, I like the guy. He hooks me up with like meat pies and water flasks and stuff, but
he's much more reasonable than the shady swashbuckler of his prices.
I witnessed it. You see something, say something. So.
See something, say something.
I'm just looking out.
A+.
Sorry,
that's
really
wonderful.
Redgrocer. Do yourself a favor and hit this guy up in game.
Yeah, you're absolutely on my, no, because that would be favoritism. But let's just pretend that if I wasn't a GM, and if I was allowed to have a list of top 3 favorite players, you would definitely be on said list.
Oh, come on.
No, you would. You entertain the absolute shit out of me. And let me tell you something. I don't say that to all the boys that I talk to. That is...
Never said that to me.
No, Nirgon's never got that kind of loving.
No.
That is specifically for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I like I said before, I'm happy that this place exists. It's fun. It's a sandbox. I didn't really get to play enough when I was a kid. Mom stopped paying for it, so,
Oh, man.
This is really where I've gotten to explore everything, so it's still kind of fresh.
I was linking your bum fights last night to everybody that was online on my Skype list. I put it in the GM chat. I was like, Rogan, Nobog, I just found the best thing on the internet.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Dual Entity, I gotta give credit. Speaking of that, she, helped, pass weapons out on the floor for, the contestants and brought a bunch of platinum to hand out for prize money and hosted the stream and everything. She runs her own P99 stream, which is the most classic.
That's the one I was just gonna say. That's the classic interface
seen.
one.
It's we all huddle around the fire and talk about how awesome classic EverQuest is on our HD monitors and full widescreen resolution, peeking around corners, and you know she plays with the classic UI in 640 by 480. You can barely read the names of NPCs as like you're running up to them. It's definitely hard mode. She doesn't even take buffs from anybody. She went PvP. Like it's really hardcore.
Well, she follows my stream, so I think she's a wonderful person, and I lurk on that stream. And if I recall, there's a counter for Ranger Gates.
Yes.
Uber Bandit would be very, very impressed. I don't know if he lurks. I lurk. I am a horrible lurker on Twitch. I am. I don't like to say things a lot of the time. If I do, it's after I've lurked for a good while.
What kind of shit you lurking again there?
I like to lurk. It's good practice for what I do when I log in game.
So late at night,
yeah.
when you're streaming and there's just like one viewer in the list and there's nobody there, it's Sirken.
Well, it's kind of hard to lurk.
Watching.
When I see someone streaming P99 and there's 0 or 1 people, like, I will usually go there because I'll just feel bad and be like, alright, time for a Sirken cameo. And so I'll shoot over there and I'll be like, hail, adventurer! And because they're so used to not having anyone in chat, they just don't acknowledge it at all. And so I just get ignored. And then I move on to the next one. Streamers, stop ignoring your chat room. Even if you only have 0 or 1 people, glance at it every once in a while. And I know I don't pay any attention to chat. I'm really sorry because I'm a huge hypocrite right now. But just do it. Just do it anyway. Because I don't like being ignored when I say hail.
You need to learn how to stream. You should tear a page out of James Forward's book. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy, but
he's an older gentleman, yes?
Yeah, he's the man.
I've lurked on his as well.
We followed him coming up. It was very entertaining.
Is he still played?
He does. I know who his characters are.
He has a bit of a southern drawl, right?
Yeah.
I've seen his stream before. It's pretty entertaining. He has like several cameras.
Got a house cam. He pays attention to his stream chat.
Yeah.
We find him to be very funny. It's a good time.
Savo, thanks for following, pal. That was that horrible sound that all of you might have just heard.
Didn't hear it.
Well, you did it, but I'll be shocked if everyone else didn't, because it was literally right underneath the microphone. It's exactly where Grocer imagines like my keyboard is in relation to the mic.
You must point it right at it.
I really don't. There's a good like 18 inches of space between the keyboard and the mic. Like the mic's all the way to the right of the desk and the keyboard's left of center. Which is interesting now that I think about it. Why isn't my keyboard in the middle of the desk? We're not gonna move it tonight because that'll just make the clickety clackety louder.
Right.
So I wanted to say something. Wait, I got derailed. I get distracted real easily. You guys are gonna. Usually I have a bandit or a dare rail to keep me focused like a laser. And now
Streamers. We were talking about the Red stream.
What's up, boy?
I'm trying.
Oh, I thought you were like starting a new thought. You were trying to remind me.
Oh
of
no,
things?
I'm trying to jog your memory.
I don't know. We were talking about there was some mention of EQ racism, and I was just gonna. I felt obligated to defend myself by saying that I was from Valenzac, and so I was raised on EQ racism.
See, but racism is a temporary thing in EverQuest. You can always get your faction up. If you come from a bad race in EverQuest, you can always change whatever it is.
See, that's the wrong kind of racism. I meant like I would go and actively hunt out darkies and pecks and worthless elves. Buddy. What's that?
We did it on Relish. We would kill the white races. We wouldn't kill each other. In fact, one of the worst things you could be on Relish early in the days was a kinslayer.
Oh.
I think I actually got called that early on Rail. Killed someone in Necklace Forest. So bad.
That's kind of awesome.
It was nostalgic. It was very classic.
Oh, the one really super exciting thing about Velius almost being done is I get to start bugging the shit out of every dev for PvP related things. And I know Hanar is really trying to give some dev love to the Red server.
Oh, he already has.
He has. Yeah, he's doing great things. But
he's really got a handle on things too. Like he's really got his head around all his changes. Like when he needs to make tweaks, he's just like, all right, hit me. What do you guys want? And he'll consider our changes. And he appears to take like 2 or 3 days, and he can have like most of the stuff corrected.
Yeah.
It's not an easy code base to work with, from what I understand.
No, it's really not. But he does listen to players, and
yeah, he does.
He's good people. He's got the access levels to do a lot of things just on the spot, and the rest of it just needs to be patched in. And if it's really important, we can be like, Rogan, please just do it, and he'll be like, it is done, my children. And then Rogan Jesus will bring peace to the world.
I mean, the list of classic features we need is starting to get really short, which is nice. I don't know what the bug section one day is just going to be what? Nothing.
Oh man, that would be magic. That would be magical. That would be absolutely magical. Just to have.
Away from the forums. You won't have to read my drivel anymore, as people call it.
Oh man, I'll tell you right now, if you ever leave the forums, I'm going to start a counter and see how long it takes for somebody to get more posts than you.
Nobody will get me. He's pretty obsessed with EverQuest too, which is a good thing. One of the traits we would look for in a project manager here,
right? Oh, I guess so. But you know what, I will say, I feel like staff members really shouldn't count, because a lot of our post count comes from behind the curtain stuff.
Wait, is this? Yeah. Are you talking about Nirgon has the most posts ever, like on the message board?
Yes.
How can you? I didn't even know that you could check
on the homepage.
Score.
Yeah, over on the homepage somewhere, it's got the top poster.
Really?
And that is the one and only Nirgon.
Oh yeah, there it is on the right hand side in stats. I never
saw that.
Absolutely.
That's why I can call him the undisputed champion.
Yeah, you sure can.
I like that forum quest is permadeath now.
Nerd's got to be careful on the forums now.
Yeah, that's a good change. You don't have the Harrison personalities. Harrison's still here right after you ban him.
Oh,
Harrison
we got
ain't going no damn place. So I think that was one of his forums.
Yeah, you got to have things approved by moderators. We have moderators. We have. Yeah. It's a new era on the forums.
Nirgon. Not hard to play by the rules on there either. I don't know why some people get banned. Just can't keep it together.
Hey, Nirgon, your avatar on the forums used to be a dentist, right?
Still is.
Oh, it is? I see a picture of Bill Nye for some reason when I look at this page, but
that's a forum bug. I don't know why that is. I had Bill Nye for a while. Place of debating classic mechanics.
Oh, I see it over here in the mini statistics. Okay, but you're not in the guild dentists. You just have the picture of the dentist. Oh,
I was in the guild dentist.
Is dentist still a guild?
Which is a hilarious guild name. That always cracked me up when I lurked for a long time before I even rolled on Red.
Badass guild. Love it.
So what's the lay of the land on Red?
Red's population is climbing and climbing. I see it over 300. I think people are starting to realize that it's not such a gruesome experience, especially when they learn about you LNS from a zone. Someone's got to let you loot your shit and leave, or it's their ass. I know I've seen people on all sides hit for week suspensions for LNS violations. And,
I just hit someone for 42 days.
Yeah, it's an incremental suspension. I think. So what was it? The first one's a week, maybe the second one's a week, and then the third one's 2 weeks.
No, I just double it. It's just always doubled.
Jay Wilson. Yeah.
Unless you're boxing. Boxing will start off at 30 days. And that's only because I really want to straight up ban people for two boxing, and other staff members think that that is way too harsh and that I'm a crazy person.
Well, we're taking advantage of your free time. You're taking your free time out to grant those IP exemptions, and then they're turning around and abusing it, so I see your point.
And full disclosure, I haven't done an IP exemption in probably 13 months.
Are you too big for that now, right?
I am too big for IP exemptions. I've transcended them.
You don't have to go to those raids anymore.
I've moved on to one of like 2 or 3 staff members willing to log into Red. That's what I've graduated to.
I mean, take no shit from people that disrespect the staff, man. Just smack them down, put them away for a week. If they still got a mouth after a week, put them away for good.
Many times I have been tempted to put in an IP exemption so that I could not have to drop all of my food on the floor of the tunnel when I switch. But I know that, like, the first day that I would do that, it would just be like,
you
boom.
would get caught two boxing the very first time you did it.
Right.
Very first. And you know what I would do? I would delete all of your food. I would delete every single piece of food you had.
Oh, but you would leave the account there so that I would have to log back in with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's devious.
I feel like that would be a worse punishment than a week off for you.
Oh, man.
Because you would just sit there going through empty bags, and the newspapers would be like, Nam Santo raided by the fuzz. Everything gone.
I'll see what happens. You get raided by the P99 fuzz. Do people know what's in store for them, Sirken, if they get caught quarantining or...
I don't know about
like
Blue
that?
server. I know Red server is very well aware of what happens.
Sirken's going to go through all your trade history. They're going to go through every one-way trade you ever made, make you explain it. They're going to nail you.
Don't do it.
I've talked to people that have gotten caught. It's just like, you're going to get nailed.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Like, I've seen things happen, and these are people that I really dislike, like Flatlord and Bizarre. I have almost felt bad when the hammer come down, seeing the rap sheet of what they lost.
The worst thing about
it ain't worth it.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. It ain't worth it. And I was going to bring up what you did ban, what was on those accounts.
Yeah, I was going to say the worst thing about it is that we ban everything you've ever logged into.
That's right.
And so you're not just shitting yourself. You're shitting on all of your pals that you made in your time here that trusted you with their info.
Yep. Well, I bought a Necromancer back on Blue with Plat when it was legal.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I think a week or two after I bought it, it was banned because it was just connected to an RMTer. Like, you lock everything down, and then everyone affected has to come forward and explain themselves. And pretty much the only way you're walking from that is... you got a clean whistle, because you got to explain what 500,000 plat came from legitimately. And if it points back to the known RMT account, you don't have an argument. You're done.
Although, you'd be surprised how many players do think they have an argument at that stage. And you'd be surprised how many times we've been threatened with lawsuits.
Yeah,
or...
shut the server down. My dad's a lawyer, you know.
One guy, I swear to God, one guy worked out, like, how many hours he played his character, then multiplied that by minimum wage in his state, and said we owed him that much money because of, like, the time of his we took or wasted or whatever. And it was like, oh God, this is petition of the year.
Like I said, you really get some personalities on here.
It's amazing.
The people that really love the community aren't just playing for the pixels. The people on here are ridiculous. They're just a ship.
But nobody would actually write that and really believe, with conviction that they're either going to get paid or... I mean, I almost feel like that's just like a piece of troll art.
I disagree with you.
At that point, no? You don't think that it's like this next level...
One day we'll be able, hopefully, to like disclose documents. Like there'll be a period of time where it's like, okay, we can disclose these petitions. And I'm going to show that. I'm going to show the whole thread. Because it's not just one post. It's like, how many posts do I see on a page? 20. So it's got to be like 30 33-ish posts, 2 pages for me, and this guy is mad as shit. And he's serious as shit. And he legitimately believes that either A, we're going to compensate him, or B, give him back his character for fear that he will seek legal recourse.
Yeah, I mean, you think the guy with 16,000 forum posts is sick? I mean, deal with some of those people. Like, coming from me to them, go outside. Like, the server ain't going anywhere. You don't need a 6 alt with a Faradar crown. Just calm down.
Speaking of going outside, people got real mad when we took down the servers and told them to beta test.
The only way you're going to get people to do it.
I've been saying that since day one, but Rogan and Nobog really, really didn't want to have to do that.
They're good guys. They always give the benefit of the doubt, you know. And I think people did help out. Like, I saw a bunch of people did, like, all the Sky Shrine quests and stuff. It's admirable.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people helped, and I know the devs, I know me, I know everyone on staff is really thankful for everyone that did it. And don't be surprised. Well, I'm gonna try very, very hard to get Rogan and Nobog to put together some kind of raffle where we just enter the account IDs of every account that logged into beta, and pull, like, we'll see how many accounts it is, but probably pull like anywhere between 5, 10, 15 winners, whatever, so a percentage of the total amount, and then call it a day. Is my video restarting? What a stupid video.
What's on your video? You following around some raid?
It's the PvP in Sebelis when all of everybody was using AONs.
That was fun. People were really worried that every fight was going to be all skeletons after that, and that was really the only really crazy skeleton one.
I saw that video, and that was the most confusing thing that I have ever tried to watch out of all of the EverQuest videos that people post.
The team speaks, I can imagine.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it was something else. I don't think that's coming again for a while. Things calm down in the ultra try-hard guild versus guild PvP, which we might pick up again.
It's fun once in a while. If it was every single time, it'd get old. I know we used to do it on Val and Zek when purists would come after us. Because then, you know, say like the first Dwarven Brigade comes. If you have everybody in skeletons, you can still throw shorties at them, and they don't know. They're wasting time clicking targets.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's one of those issues where, like, you know, it's the timeline and the player knowledge going into it. That's why there's so many AONs. And I believe they're getting moved to the Golems in Fear, so there's probably going to be even more of them going forward. So I know Gongsho is very against taking away the nameplates over skeletons, but he also wants target rings, and you know, I don't want either, but there's reasons for both.
He's gonna be real upset because he's not gonna get either of those things.
Shit's classic, man. You just gotta come and play what you came here to play and deal with it.
Well, the problem is I don't think a lot of people came here to play EverQuest. And I think that's the big disconnect.
I think we can look into that statement a little more. And when you say play EverQuest, there's people that really play EverQuest. I think like Redgrocer, or the people that have little newbie events, or people that are just friendly to deal with and aren't obsessed with slitting the guy next to them's throat over a raid loot. I don't know what the obsession about a lot of the EverQuest pixels are, because they don't have big, cool-looking, flaming shoulder plate graphics. A lot of them are invisible, you know, like. But yet, some people think they look really cool, you know. Having a steel helmet on your caster is a big deal.
Hey, it's all EverQuest. I mean, on either side of the spectrum, it's the game. The game is so damn big that, you know, people from all, you know, walks of life and you know, who enjoy different aspects of the game can totally immerse themselves in that aspect of the game and you know, find whatever pleasure they get out of it. Like it's that big. It's that big of a game.
one of the things we could use for Red and going on, like what I was saying about people that just log in for the experience and talk to people. They like trading items. I mean, just like fun things, fun events that don't necessarily have game-breaking rules, especially for Red, I think would be good.
Right. But I mean, there's other things that just
It's up to
you
the players,
don't see
too.
on Red, and
It's up to the players.
absolutely
Really,
it is. It's absolutely up to the players, but to a certain degree, as a staff, you can build a framework that's going to either limit or enable certain things, and I know a lot of the server would just have me lynched in the middle of the street for saying this, but I seriously think Red 99 would have been a much different, probably better, but for sure different place if it would have had the same XP rates as the blue server and never had the XP loss on PvP deaths.
I didn't like the XP loss on PvP death. That was just going to turn people away.
In theory, it was nice, and then you add in like real life and griefing and all the other dumb shit that happens, and it just doesn't work.
People got bind camped until they were green, and then someone would get on their alt and do it. I mean, you can't have systems like that, especially non-classic ones that enable that.
Yeah, no, error was recognized, and that was removed.
Yeah, I'm glad it's going to.
I don't know. I think a lot of people, they want to log in, they want to kill some people, and then they want to log out and go do what they want to do.
And if they can't kill some people, they want to be able to get their shit back and go out and do other stuff.
But here's the thing: those same people also want to be best in slot for everything. And
do you know how unrealistic that is? Like,
well,
I'm saying you can get best in slot gear, but I'm saying back in the day there was no one rocking. You know, they didn't have two characters in full Paradox. That just didn't exist.
Right. Absolutely truth.
Gauge your expectation of what do I need to compete in Bellius. You're not screwed without full Paradox. Not even close.
Whoa, IR. I don't know how to say your name, so that's how we're saying it. Thanks for following, and hello. Red 99 is not similar to Eve at all. It's, I don't know. I
haven't played Eve. That's a Samwise game. It's bad or good. I'm just saying he's the guy to talk to about that.
I couldn't deal with that. If I put so much time into something and it just all got annihilated one night, I would lose my mind. That'd be like playing on a permadeath server.
$15,000 ships that people buy and they get ambushed and destroyed and shit.
Yeah, no, at least in EverQuest you leave a corpse. I can always get my shit back.
Yeah.
So, Nirgon, you said you exclusively play Red now?
Yes, I do. I haven't logged into Blue in a very long time.
Yeah, Red is fun. I like it. I think that there are some recent converts, semi-converts, but I think part of the problem is you have like a limited player base. This is a pretty niche game, and a lot of people have invested time in their characters on Blue. It does take a while. It's regular XP, and I think that there's a lot of conflict for a lot of folks as far as like how are they going to spend their available time that they have to play EQ, and probably a lot of them, I'm guessing, have already started off and put in that chunk of time on Blue. So it's tough to like convince someone, hey, start completely over.
It is.
Having said that, Red is cool and it has its own dynamic. Like, there's actually a lot of like roleplay fuel that is just kind of sitting there waiting to be tapped.
Better than that, I mean, the XP rate is so fast, and AoEing works now. So if you guys have a bard group and you bring 6 people over here, I know people that are level 48 right now after like 2 weeks, and they're not on all day. And then for the people that are on all day, there was some dude playing a warrior, posting his progress. He went from like 1 to 52 in 3 days, but I mean, massive time investment. But the XP rate, I mean, is insanely fast if you have a full group.
Yeah.
You can start over very easily. If there's guilds here, I don't think any of the guilds here are having any kind of policy like if you haven't raided for 6 months, you will destroy things in front of you. I know Nylon did that here.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I see the reason for doing it. It's because they want you to earn your stuff and not loot up and leave.
Will
just not
destroy
something
things in front of you.
That's
Oh,
hardcore, though. That's, I mean, like, honestly, there's a
I
party.
don't agree with doing that.
But there's a
It's
party that
horrible.
has to respect that dedication, I would think.
Not my party.
But all the guilds here, like Fresh, if you get started with those guys, you'll find groups, you'll have a good time. EverQuest is a fun game, even when you're not twinked out. You'll forget what it's like to come up from nothing. I mean, I think the gameplay in this game is fun. It's not, I don't just enjoy looting the cool items. I think it has great game mechanics, and that's a lot of the focus that I put on the bug form is, you know, fixing these bugs that either trivialize the game or take away from fun mechanics that don't exist yet.
You can have a great time wearing cloth and carrying around a cracked staff.
I mean, the crowd control in this game is amazing. Bard class is super fun. There hasn't been a game with someone who can. I can't think of a. I know WoW you can only crowd control 1 or 2 things at a time, and Enchanter can crowd control like a ton of shit. So the classes are very powerful in this game, and they all rely on each other. I think that's really fun. I really like that about the game.
Oh, I forget who the hell I forget where. I don't know. I was saying almost the exact same thing about bards specifically. I haven't seen bards since EverQuest, like legit bards, since this game came out, and no.
They had them in Dark Age at Camelot, and they let the group run real fast. And,
oh, that's what everyone says, but it wasn't the same. Like I don't know, like just the way they worked bards. Like, granted, if it wasn't 1999, it could have been a lot cooler, but just I don't know. It was so outside the box, and still
Bards
to
are
this
hard
day,
to play.
just so outside the box that I think they're amazing. I could never play one. I was just telling somebody like an hour before we started streaming, like I love my wrists. I will never play a bard past like level 20. But
you get to leave songs running sometimes. You're not always toggling them.
Doesn't matter.
Plus,
I'm old.
they're
I can't handle that.
They're even better. They're not as good as they should be even yet because we don't have the buff stacking, which I'm sure is a nightmare to fix. Just given an idea from Haynar say when he worked on that stuff and he started taking it apart and figuring out the changes, and it was just fix one thing, break another, and I program for my job, and I totally understand that's a pain in the ass.
It's kind of a pain in the ass.
They're very strong though. If he gets that clicking, you'll have double task mobs. You'll have there's that mage staff to summon lava diamond. You can get double lava shield and stuff, all kinds of crazy shit going. That actually helps to balance fighting melees and Velius. That's a PvP thing.
All right. If you could wave a magical wand and change one thing about Red 99 to make it a better server, what would you do? What would you add or take away?
One thing.
Ice cream churn.
How about you, Redgrocer?
No, don't ask him. He'll say more cheese.
cheese or ice cream churns. Like, that's serious. I want to be able to make ice cream in this game, especially in Velius. I don't think that that's an item that will ever exist here. I will take this opportunity to ask you if you know if that will ever I have asked before in your stream chat, but I think that you always think I'm trolling. But I'm serious.
This is what I gotta deal with, Nirgon.
I like the guy. We had him out to a raid. He brought soup. He was chumming with us. He's a pretty funny guy.
By the way, just a little backstory for everyone. So they ordered. I got an order from Colgate like 220 soups. So I filled the order, and he's like, "Here, bring them out to Karner's Castle." And so I go there, and by the time I get there, there's nobody there. And he's like, "Oh, we moved. We're over over here near Burning Woods, I think it was. And so I ran up there, and I'm passing Soup out, and all of a sudden everyone just starts yelling, like, get out of here, run, you gotta go. And I turn around, and there's this huge blue dragon running toward us. And like I said, I've like, my armor is cloth.
Right.
I have a cracked staff.
What level are you?
400 hit points.
Level 35, I think I was at that point. I'm 37 now. I don't get in much. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you play casually. The game is designed for that too.
Right. But it was a lot of fun, and people kept running up to me and giving me very heavy amounts of coins. So I was dragging, and I'm like having a hard time.
I guarantee you had more fun than anyone else on that raid too.
I was laughing so hard. And then at one point, I must have gotten feared because I just started running randomly through the trees near that zone line. And I thought for sure it was lights out. And sure enough, it was but a scratch.
You fled to safety.
And then I came back and finished passing out soups for those that were so rudely interrupted by this dragon.
Some nice hot soup after a nice dragon kill. That's what I'm talking about.
Good times, indeed.
Hold on, I gotta drop stupid bombs in OOC. And now I have to turn off my tells.
Gosh.
Alright. Sorry, people are being dumb.
That happens.
Happens a lot.
Certainly seen a lot of it.
I want to know how the hell the red server can generate the same volume of petitions as the blue server. That's what I want to know.
Russell is real, man. It's real. I mean, a lot of people, they list their reason for not playing here is because they got killed in PvP. Death in EverQuest can be painful, especially if you don't know how to use the ignore feature. Someone with a fungus tunic kills you and thinks they're good at the game and tells you that you're not. So, my advice is, if you do come play Red, use the ignore feature. We have freedom of speech here, but
I always had a good time with those guys. In a weird,
some of them are cool. Let me say that. Some of them are
double reverse troll way, and then we would laugh and
Right. Some of the guys are cool about it. Like if you say, wow, you kicked my ass, whatever, they'll move on. The sickos that people warn you about are really few and far between.
The reason people don't like ignore is because people have this weird need to know what other people are saying about them, and they're worried that they will miss all those negative things.
Just teach yourself to not care what some idiot thinks. You can do it.
I never put anyone on ignore just because if I'm ever in a zone, maybe they're like shouting train or something, and I don't want to not get the message.
You know what? Take them off ignore later.
Eat 100 bombs.
Give it like 2 weeks and take them off and see if they're still going.
I had a player on ignore once, and then he petitioned, and I tried to help him, and I was getting so mad because I thought he just was ignoring me because I could see him moving around, so I knew he wasn't AFK. And I'm like, why isn't this nerd answering my words with his words? And then finally, I think it was Deribale came over and was like, he's talking all over the place to you. And I was just like, oh no. So then I pretended I had been AFK for a while.
You ever played the game Dark Souls? You know how the players really can't talk to each other? That's done for a reason in a lot of games. Some people are mature enough to handle it. They don't give you the benefit of the doubt in that one because death is stressful in those types of games. And usually you don't have something nice to say to someone who caused you a 45-minute force run.
That is very true. That is very true.
An MMO with no ability to communicate with the other players? Is that?
No,
did I hear that right?
Dark Souls, you could be invaded by another player, and it was a player-controlled entity that you fought, but they couldn't send you tells or yell through their headset.
Okay. Like
you
monster.
Send gamer messages afterwards. First one.
I'm one of those people who think OFC needs to go away because it's the devil.
It needs a cooldown on it. I don't need. I mean, a lot of these arguments I see can be intels. You know, if someone has to say owned after they kill someone or something, that's fine. But watching three people argue for 40 minutes that maybe I don't want to put on ignore because ordinarily they're normal people. It needs a cooldown on it, in period.
Maybe. I'd be
And I
okay
think that's
with,
easier.
I
Well, it's
know.
easier to code than town OC. Just putting a timer on that, I would think.
Yeah, that is truth. I just don't like it. I know there's arguments for how it's useful and good, but whenever I'm on Red, I see it usually used for everything but useful and good.
And it has helped a lot of new players, and you know, some people are going to abuse it. Ignore works. That's all I gotta say. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I think it
Once
really
the server
helps.
pop comes up, it'll take it out. We don't need it anymore if we hit like 400 or 500 people regularly.
Oh,
Do you think so, though? I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
It's almost like a feature of Red, though, that is something. You get people started, and a lot of people have started on it recently. And then if you take it away,
Population is going to be top heavy. I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard for Lubies to find groups.
I really think that it would be. I've found it really useful, and it's it's entertaining as well if you're able to like filter it in your own mind because
Ignore.
like, well, yeah, it's.
I got a person with borderline personality, multiple personality disorder talking about filtering things in their mind. You have an unfair advantage, sir. You've got multiple people in that head of yours filing papers and words around.
But I chose to create who those people are.
I don't know if that makes it better.
It wasn't. I didn't just wake up and all of a sudden was them.
Again, I don't know if that's...
Same thing.
Yeah. That's not sounding any better.
Oh, well.
I don't know. It'd be... I don't know. I agree that with everything you just said, the server would be top heavy and new players would still absolutely need some way to find each other.
Some avenue of doing it.
But I
there's
mean,
the forums. There's.
you could just have everybody start off in a goddamn newbie guild, and just let them use that guild chat to navigate.
That's a good solution.
And that way they're not broadcasting their location to a bunch of nerds with nothing better to do than log on their level 14 fungi twink and gank a Crushbone group.
Dark Age of Camelot did that. That's another thing they did. They had the Defenders of Malarn or whatever for Midgard. Put you in that guild immediately. And if you didn't like it, you could just drop it in
Right.
1 second.
Right. If you're like let's say Nirgon decided to roll an alt and he knows he's going to get power leveled and pixel packages and paxels and all the things, and he decides, I don't need to be in this newbie guild. I'm a pro. Then you would just guild remove yourself.
Or I'm going to be a PK. And I'm going to do the honorable thing and not, be a wolf in sheep's clothing wearing the newbie tag. Well, who gets to kick the bad people out of the newbie guild, like the shitty people? Who's the guild leader of the newbie guild? You
I don't know. It'll probably be me, but let me tell you something. I would do horrible things to people.
Abuse it. Absolutely. You should.
If there were veterans abusing the noob guild to just grief new like legit new players, I would...
Spamming guild chat.
I would destroy their existence.
Salty types that just live to watch the world burn.
Oh, he's a dumb person.
No, I'm not going to get started
on that. I just don't understand. I just don't even understand. Because I've asked him, I'm like, just tell me why. Help me understand.
There's no reason.
And he's just like, for the lulz. And I'm like, but it's not funny. Like, that's the other thing.
You're not going to understand it because your brain doesn't work like this.
No, because
it's not going to make sense.
Like, Abacab is at least entertaining. I get entertainment value out of watching Abacab shenanigans.
I can tell what he's... Yeah, I get his thing.
Salty just... I don't know. Like, I don't see the entertainment value. I don't see the lulz that he gets.
I do. He thinks it's funny. I know that he thinks it's funny.
I know he
also
does.
Thinks it's clever. He thinks he's very clever.
Oh, he's not that clever. He's not that clever at all.
I want to say he isn't, but is he still on the loose trolling streamers?
I honestly don't know. I haven't had petitions about it in a while, but holy shit.
He gets bored.
How dumb are people that they're petitioning this?
I
I
just
mean,
don't know, man.
oh,
They're
if
not
somebody,
seasoned veterans of the internet.
if I got a random tell from a stranger saying that someone on their Twitch page was talking shit about me, why would I give any shits about that? And why would I petition it? What would a GM do about someone saying shit on their Twitch stream? I mean,
I can't. I
oh,
can't really comment on that. I wouldn't believe it personally or care. And hey, like I said, /ignore works. I would use it. It's wonderful. They're
people
just gone.
people
Just gone.
suck at /ignore.
Use it. Try it. Be brave and put one person on ignore that you're tired of dealing with.
Just try it one
And
time.
your life, your life and game will be improved.
Call Dr. Nirgon in the morning and let him know how you feel.
Pilot, take two ignores and call me in the morning. You'll be like, wow, it's like that guy doesn't talk anymore. This is great. It's what it does.
Java Mug's butt plug? I'm confused. Oh, he's probably saying that was salty.
You did ask me earlier if I could change one thing about the red server, what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I would say after the resist system goes in, I would love for item loot to go in. However, I understand everyone's reluctance to do it because they don't feel like they want to wear no drop gear, they don't like risk and reward, but I think it is a good thing. But, you know, with the population rising right now, maybe it's not a good idea to change the formula too much and make it a more hardcore experience.
I
You know?
think
Maybe
item
it's not the
loot
time
is,
for it.
as a player, I loved item loot and I thought it was great. And
Instead of no drop.
yeah, I mean shit, I was doing quests, I was doing all kinds of shit to get no drop armor.
Most people don't even know all the no drop items in the game because they never played on a PvP server.
Oh man, yeah, well you got to. And
all the Temple of Soulsec row items, the Grim Pauldrons and Trakenon's Teeth. You're not going to be running around butt naked. And if Hanar makes the resist adjustments to crowd control spells, you should have no problem with just like, you know, resist magics or shielding not getting rooted and stomped.
yeah.
We didn't have that problem on RZ.
No, root was not a thing. Like I can't.
If you were fully dispelled and attached and mounted, yes.
Sure, then, but normally root's
fine.
not happening. If you have like 185 MR or better, you generally weren't getting rooted.
Cut off and blind and stun and all that stuff.
Root worked for me for a while.
I'm really not worried about that stuff being in for too long. I don't know when Rogine plans to set aside another patch day because he does have to get all like, you know, I think a lot of the developers' schedules have to align for emergency stuff afterwards, and it's not as simple as, hey Rogine, just push the patch and it's over.
Right.
But when he does do it, I have every confidence Hanar is really in control of the code he's working with.
Yeah, I mean, Hanar's not the type of person to just go MIA after shit goes live. He knows that sometimes, like you said, you fix one thing, you break another thing.
Yes.
And depending on how important that other thing is you just broke, it might need to be fixed right away. And so they stick around. I know there were issues on Red with some players were seeing like all the NPCs in one area of the zone, and bankers were missing, and I was losing my shit because I didn't know if like the entire server was trolling me or not, because everything looked normal on my end.
Did that have to do with like anti-hack stuff? He said that like it scrambled like player and NPC locations when you zone in briefly to prevent cheating.
Yeah, there was
like
it was missing a check where it was supposed to see if it was an NPC or a player.
Yeah.
And so it was including NPCs, and it shouldn't have been. And I guess for some reason my GM access level prevented that from happening on my end, which was really weird. Because I summoned...
you're allowed to run macro quests and stuff. Rogine said I think he said the guides and GMs are allowed to run anything on.
Yeah, I used to. When I was a guide, I absolutely used it all the time because as a guide, you really have such limited access that the tools, if you know how to use macro quests and you have a good compile, it's really useful. But then since I got bumped up to where I'm at
Recall.
now, I really don't need it. Like, there's nothing I can't do as a GM that MacroQuest can do for me.
Cool.
So Sirken, the item loot, is that something that could actually get changed on Red, or
Probably
I mean,
not. Probably
is
not.
is that classic, or
It's
How did
classic
that-
depending on which server you're looking at.
okay? See,
Here's the
I
thing,
never
though.
played.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If we were to add item loot right now,
People
all
wouldn't
the
know it was in.
people who are veterans who have been here for a while, they don't care because they all essentially have full no drop gear. And it's only really going to affect the new up and coming players, and those are the players that are most at risk to lose. Like
We
your
got planar
vets,
rates
they're
going
not
though,
leaving.
man. We got planar rates going for no drop gear. It feels like fresh. Even if you wanted to come along on a hollow rate, we'd absolutely take you and do some planar clears like Fresh is doing. I know it's not like we don't know Fresh is in fear clearing or doing Draco. We know they're there. We're just not going to go stomp on them. We don't think we have nothing to prove by doing that, and it just hurts the server. So I don't think there's a problem with an influx of no drop gear, which is good.
I mean, are people doing that because they anticipate that change could happen, and so it's like you're stockpiling on it just in case that storm hits?
People are doing that because, I mean, there's no EC tunnel on Red, really. I mean, and the server hasn't been over-farmed. I mean, if you need to buy certain items on Red, they might not be for sale. Unlike Blue, where there's like 100 of them up for grabs.
Right.
So they're doing it because they need gear.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I honestly, I couldn't see item loot. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I could absolutely, nobody could just come in and be like, I'm throwing my dick on the table. We want item loot now.
It's
What about
a classic deal with it.
What about meat loot? I'm sticking to this one. Actually, let me change
your
my
meat
answer
looted?
from before. Yeah, racial
It's not in a
meat
bag.
drops. I mean, give me one reason not to do that. Let me put it that way.
Not classic.
Oh fuck!
There's your one
Well,
reason.
That's a really
Well, it's
good
not-
reason.
I don't want to step into your area expertise and correct you, but aren't the racial meats, aren't they parts, like troll parts, dark elf parts? Not
Yeah, well,
dark
some
elf
of them, some are parts and some are meat,
So you would kill someone and take their parts. That's interesting.
or they're meat.
It could be whatever you imagined it to be. Yeah.
Exactly, and then you could stockpile them, and they could be used as like some sort of. Never mind.
Well, it's just, you could kill people and stuff and whatever. But the thing with item loot is it's the server isn't ready for that yet until the last of like the resist changes and stuff go in because if people are getting rooted and pounded, item loot's not going to be good in a system like that. It's going to be good in a system where you can have a resist magic in your planar no drop set and you can resist roots unless you're attached to that item. And then all the extra gear you wear to be what people fear these spell immune monsters. Well, then you should have to risk that. I don't think that it's fair that someone be completely immune to magic and wear all this resist gear and not have to risk it. Or out actively seeking PvP without there really being a nasty risk for attacking a group of 6 people.
I
Because they
agree.
really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. There's no risk in messing with 6 dudes who can beat you down.
Right. That's Nilbog's. I know Nilbog actually is a fan of item loot, and the example he gives all the time is 6 scrubs have a chance to take down a guy in a fungi twink, or a guy in a fungi tunic.
Or what's going to be is more likely 6 or 7 people are going to get sick of some fungi twink shit in unrest, and they're going to keep a bunch of like level 30 Shadow Knights camped there, and when that dude logs in, they're just all going to harm touch him and take his fungi tunic. That's what I would make a character for that purpose.
Oh,
That sounds
There's a
amazing.
fungi twink problem. Yeah.
All right,
It's
let's
not
do
hard.
it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's worry about like if I had to call a shot, I would say, nail down the little odds and ends from the massive resist change we just went through, and then we can talk about it. Because I don't just want it just to have it if it's not a good idea. Everything else needs to be right.
I like it.
Well, there's something people to do too, other than raid. You know, I mean, sure you can go around and kill people, but you know, being able to hunt for people and take their items is a very fun alternative to raiding, speaking from experience on live.
I like it. I would say, I think the best thing, and I know Rogan is 100% against this, and so is Nobog, and I think so is Darabro. I might be the only GM who thinks this is a good idea, but I would really love to see copies, a one-time like copy from blue to red, with just no drop stuff, no money, no droppables, just your character and your no drops, and boom, you're here. And
I don't think anyone on Red has a problem with people doing that, really.
I know, but the staff has a problem with it, and it sucks because I'm on that staff. But like me as a staff member, I have to have a problem with it. But me as an individual, like I think it should be allowed, and it's very aggravating sometimes. But
if you want people to come from blue to red, we've been doing a pretty good job. I know some people are annoyed by the recruitment there, but the blue server, when I was looking at it, at least before I started playing again, was over 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And now I see it's at 800 and red at 300, up from 100. So it looks to me that 200 people from blue came over to red, which is good because you want to talk about a top-heavy server. Blue has everyone's level 60 over there, dude. I mean, and live wasn't like that. I mean, you look at Legacy of Steel's kills in Velius, like everybody wasn't 60. There were some level 58s in there.
Right. Well, that's part of being in Kunark for the last 3.5 years, 4 years.
Yeah, but I mean, I think for a free project it was handled very well because Classic has just way too little content, and they put out Kunark and then they circle back for all infinite mechanical things and inconsistencies that are going to be different from like a Planes of Power era server compared to the Classic one.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good time. They did it pretty quick, considering how much stuff they had to change.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that Velius will be good.
Right. Look at all the EQ emulator servers that are pretty much just never going to be able to do stuff like that. So better late than never, you know.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I mean, they did a really good job, and it's a burnout job too. Coding for no money. I mean, you really gotta love what you're doing, and if they're still around contributing and making changes, they absolutely they deserve all the time in the world to do it.
I agree. I said it multiple times that people like me and Darabale and the whole CSR side of things, we're essentially glorified babysitters. You can replace us with anybody. But the devs are the true lifeblood of this server, and without them this project would just fall apart. Apparently there's a problem with the call. So, you guys, you just got me for right now. Unless we have do we have everybody?
I lost you there.
We're all back. Huzzah!
Call cut out.
Yeah, I heard that. I didn't know what happened, but then I decided I would just talk to myself for a little while.
But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, if anyone thinks that we've been in Kunark too long, I mean, everybody knows we have, but I mean, try doing all the things that they've done and making all the changes they've done and doing it in less than that amount of time. I highly doubt you're going to be able to do it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you see it all the time whenever a new classic EQ server pops up and then 3 months later it's gone.
And you got to imagine coming home. I think a lot of these guys do programming for a living. I mean, coming home from work, programming or handling support issues or whatever they're doing all day, and then coding EverQuest, which I think is harder than a lot of the programming jobs out there.
I think there's a lot of people that would agree with you.
It's really hard stuff. I mean, I've looked at the code. I know I don't know C and C++ very well anymore because it's not my focus, but I mean, some of those changes are really hard. Speaking of other changes, that guy Tellin, who did the spell effects,
yeah,
geez, dude is a badass. I know at least 5 people who know exactly what the hell they're doing. Tried to fix the little blue pixel, the little emitters that come out of the 39 plus buffs.
Yeah.
All of them tried until they fell flat on their face, but he was able to do it. So
we have
not only
really
is it a
good
hard
devs.
and contributors from outside the community.
Absolutely. I consider them devs too. They might not be like full-time staff members, but if they're contributing, they're devs one way or another in my heart of hearts.
Doctors of EverQuest in their own right. It's me. I mean, yeah, we got the guys in the bugs forum who just, for no personal gain other than they want to see a classic server, spend hours researching things. And then they're the regulars that do that, and then there's the guy who comes out of nowhere with like, hey, I just found this hard drive with 1,500 EverQuest screenshots. And he changes history, you know, like we're all these things come out, like the endurance changes that we want, stuff like that. Dark night times, like we have to prove that existed. That's going to be awesome.
Oh god, yeah, the devs were really excited about the darkness lighting gamma changes, and then it just did not work the way it was supposed to.
I think I still have it, and it looks good on my computer.
I swear my game is still dark, but I'm
dark and I like it.
You
I'm
can
getting
adjust
used to
it now,
yeah.
though.
I don't know. I feel like I think I have mine set to 100%.
Your shit is still dark at 100%?
It seems that way. I don't know.
Oh man, I don't know.
I gotta be ready for that one.
I'm not.
Are you playing on like a video
really,
card from 1999?
I can still see like the wolf meat. And, you know, the line. Like I can read it, and I know what's what. So
as long as you can differentiate the cheese from the meat,
yes,
it should be okay.
Speaking of which, we need to have a little discussion after this is all over about the cheese.
I've
got some information.
Is there a dirty cheese market that I should know about?
I got a hot tip on some
Are you gonna try to bribe me to take out your cheese competition? Look, Sirken, I'll give you blah blah blah. Just make sure these guys' cheese don't get to where it's going. If it fell off a truck and landed in my yard, that'd be okay too.
Yeah,
as long as we don't need a separate forum section where only people that trade food in the game can work things out. You know, we'll get to that point. It's fine.
I love it.
Oh god damn it!
I want that.
Well, you know, I'm glad I brought that up. The thing about a blue server, dude, that I never understood. I understood that there's competition, but at a certain point, you guys all need to learn to freaking share or come over to the red server. If you don't want to share, if you don't like that the other guilds get things, please come over to red. There are things I miss on blue, and there are things I don't. The thing I do not miss is just people's obsession with getting every single raid target and not sharing. It's not good. Like, don't do that anymore, and if you don't want to do that, please come over to red.
Sorry about that. I interrupted the end of your spiel, but
I was basically saying, since you interrupted me, stay on blue and drive Sirken crazy with javelin contests.
The problem is, a lot of people, they just see a lot of the dumb shit on the forums from people who mostly don't even play. And they're just like, oh, well, this community's horrible. I don't want to play there. And they don't actually see it or try it themselves.
Red is much better than it was before. The play nice policy. Before, you were allowed to corpse camp people, and you lost 3% XP on death. That includes 51 plus. That is...
Wow.
That's too much.
Red was hard.
That's too much for most people. There has to be a cutoff. Like, there has to be some point where you can say, look, this guy's allowed to get his shit back and loot his corpse and move on. It was like that on Live, and if Live had no play nice policy, I mean, Rallysec would have been what Red turned into. It would have just been people griefing each other into submission, which is what happened early on.
Right. I remember.
But that's gone now, and you're seeing everything's improving on Red right now. And come on over, give it a try. You can, while you're selling things in the East Commons Tunnel or looking for a port, you can have a red window open and farm red plat and sell it for blue plat if that's what you really want to do. But
That is true. You are absolutely allowed to play on both servers
It's
at the
better
same
than
time.
Gems. The red server is better than Gems or Solitaire. Come on down. Plus, red plat's worth 3 times as much as blue plat. If I farm Ocean of Tears, and people usually aren't out there, and I put 3,000 plat in my bank at the end of a week or whatever, however amount, I can trade that right now for 9,000 plat on blue. And this is open camps, uncontested, for now.
And if someone's there, you can kill them and take it.
And even, you know what, I forgot the best part about red. No fucking variance. I cannot believe, and others listening, take a hard look at what you're doing, camping Kalendor for 15 hours so you'll get an item over someone else in your guild. Like I said, blue's got to learn to share, and if you don't want to share, come over to red. Holocaust has raid times. They are U.S. Eastern prime time. Like every single time the mob spawns, right on time, we kill it, it's over. We have raid time again. I don't know if you remember that from playing EverQuest, but there was raid time when you would all log in and do stuff. And it wasn't, your phone vibrating on the nightstand at, 3:45 in the morning.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. We knew exactly what time we were going to do whatever we were going to do on that night.
It's refreshing.
We'd meet up at, I believe the Tox Wizard Spires is where we would meet up, and then we would head to wherever we were going.
It's the best thing, man. I come home from work, say hi to my wife, get dinner going, log in for a raid. I'm not tired going in the next day. I don't know how I function playing the blue server. I don't. But, it's a very different experience, and I think anyone who's tired of doing that, please come over to red. I am not telling you to do. It's worth the quote grief of the PvP, which isn't that bad.
Well, they act like there's no grief on blue, and there's absolutely lots of grief on blue server. It's just not in the form of PvP.
Got my favorite forums open here right now. If you think red is a scumbucket, why are there? There is a scam issue. Second post on here. There is a scam issue on the blue server, absolutely. And Sirken and them had to clean it up. I mean, blue has some of the same problems red does, and a lot of the problems blue doesn't. I really, having played both servers a ton, I can tell you that. I mean, I would be camping the Hierophant in the crypt on blue, and someone would, quote, come in to see if their friend was in there, who the hell does that, and train the crypt, we'd evac out, and they'd come in and take the camp spot. And think that, that's a nice thing to do, and we're just going to be cool about that and move on. I did, because I had other shit to do, but, I mean, these guys were fighting like cats and dogs over the Hierophant. And then I think their way of being nice was they were going to say, okay, well, we'll just take the Hierophant, you can take everything else. And I was like, this is insane. Just camp it another night. Calm down.
They take that shit serious, man. There's people, they'll do that shit and they'll already have corpses with the cloak on it in the room.
I know.
I hate when I see that. I hate it so much when I see that.
No one likes that except the person doing it.
Yeah, well, that's usually how it works when you're being an asshole.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's going to go. And I know a lot of people are excited about playing Mischief. That's going to get held down by a group. And what you can do on red is the single jerk holding it down, because most people don't have the time in their lives every time King Tranix spawns to log in and kill it. Yeah. 3 people can show up and kill the guy doing that on red. It happens all the time. I know there's been pictures linked of this is what Tranix looks like on red versus blue, and you're going to get wiped out once in a while, and other people are going to get a chance to kill it. It's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It's a very valuable tool, PvP is, within the realm of EverQuest. And there's a shit ton of people that have never experienced it. And let me tell you something, once you start playing on a PvP server, there's a lot of items in EverQuest that you're going to look at very, very differently, and will have very different values to you in life.
The game is more fun, too.
On blue server, monks and T-staffs, they're like, I might get one, I might not. Who cares?
Yeah, it interrupts them off sometimes.
Yeah. On
Very different here.
on
You're
Red, it's
dead.
like you're not a real monk yet, sir.
You get a T-stat, you're probably gonna get smoked
Yeah.
in those classes. But, you know.
All the
I
resist items, potions, fucking all
There's no
kinds of little
experience.
things.
There's no experience like EverQuest PvP. It gets your pulse going. Even for someone who's played it a ton, it always gets your blood pumping.
Oh, I miss it.
It's very fun and exciting if you give it a chance. It will be hard at first. You might not be good at it, but people will teach you. You'd be surprised how many people will give you pointers and tips.
I don't know. For me, it's when I've been sitting there in Surefall Glade for an hour and a half, hitting the forge button, and I finally get that Surefall sap. It's, I mean, that to me is EverQuest. Like that is like beating the boss. You know, if you really don't want to worry about like contesting raid mobs and dealing with all of that, like join my guild. You know, I've not once have I ever had to like petition someone because they stole my wolf meat kill or, you know, killed a shark in front of me. It's an open world. 0% competition.
Oh, god damn it. God.
I'm actually kind of surprised that like nobody that has just gotten, I don't know, not necessarily bored with the game, but in a way kind of, you know, like people are constantly complaining like, oh, you just get to the top and you grind and then it's like, what do you do? There's a lot more. And I'll bet that there are people out there listening that, you know, are kind of in that position, and you should totally consider joining up and just doing some roleplay. Because it's fun.
I'm gonna put all of like the cooking stuff on some kind of rotation on Blue. You're only gonna be allowed to bake every 60 days. I'm gonna make you a Class R baker.
Well, I'll be on that every 60th day, baking my ass off.
Oh, I just fired shots at everybody except for. No, you know what? I don't care. It's Red 99 night. I can fire shots at Blue Server. Sorry, Blue Server. There's no one here to defend you tonight.
I'm not going to defend you. You know, Blue has some good PvPers. There's some people I can think of on there that they should come over here right away because they're already pretty good. I know it's hard to leave your pixels behind, but you're going to replace all this shit in Million Bones. You're going to replace all your shit.
What about the old school people who have items that don't drop anymore?
That's why you need GM events or a classic weekend or something. That'd be a bad idea. And there's also, I know Jerubiel likes scripting, and Nilbog has wisely outlawed artifact items, but, I mean, GM events or just in-game events weren't always, you know, something where a staff played an NPC or it was a one and done. I mean, there were things that went on for weeks, like the West Commons event with the werewolves.
Right.
I know one of the favorite themes was Freeport versus Mariac. It was a very popular thing back in the old days of Ralisec. There's a lot of room for them to be creative there and come up with stuff and just have, you know, bronze and shit dropping for everybody that's having a hard time getting started.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that after Velius, that's something that Nilbog wants to focus on is the scripted events. And I know that we're not allowed to give artifacts for things, but I do know that if we can get the actual events to work that awarded those artifacts, we could give them out then. The only problem is we don't know if some of the artifacts were created like on the spot for the winner, or if it was just like, okay, we're gonna make the reward for this quest a necromancer only robe.
I don't think it was come up with. I don't think they made the item up on the spot. I think it went into like the item database with a patch or something. It was predetermined what they would have, like the butcher block hammer and the shield of hatred and all that stuff. And a lot of them aren't game-breaking items.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is totally classic to make up whatever GM event you want, and put it out there because there's tons of GM events that happen all the time that just weren't like ones that were done on every server. Like a GM or guy would just make up some stuff and hand
Right,
things out
right.
and have fun.
And
Yeah.
it only happened on it only happened on that home server. Absolutely.
Go ahead and make some stuff up. Have fun with it. It is classic.
I concur. It's just those goddamn artifacts. I'd really like to see them out there.
Except the Ranger bow. All of them are fine except that one. The Oakman is not okay.
If there was only one on the server though, and it got awarded.
There's a Tom pose on blue, and I mean, it would be completely unfair on red, but I mean it's fine on blue. It's not really breaking the game.
Well, the NPCs would disagree with you.
Yeah. Is this what's his name? Perron? Is he popping parses with that thing?
He still plays. I don't know what he's rocking, but I know he still plays.
He's rocking his Tom pose, especially after the double affection or something.
I could log in his character real quick and check it out. I'm not going to, because that would be an abuse of power.
Speaking of, here's an idea. If you really want to see the artifact items, why don't you just summon them to yourself and wear them as a GM instead of those fucking planes of power and later weapons I see you guys with that make me sick?
I don't know. For a long time, I was running around with a Velius weapon, and then
do that, man.
I saw nerds on beta running around with my null staff, and I was just like, oh no. And so I got creative, and I gave myself a rogue epic and a bard epic, and put it on my warrior, and called it a day.
Stuff like that. But I think that the last patch, I gotta say, things are really good. It's really good. Definitely come over and try it. You're gonna replace all your stuff in Velius anyway. There's new variants on this server. God's Work, who is our rival guild, also started openly recruiting. Go ahead, by all means, join them if you don't want to join Holocaust. And just get away from variance reading if that's something that you don't think suits your lifestyle.
I like it. I think on that note, we should call it a night. Unless either of you guys have anything else to throw out there. I definitely don't.
I got nothing. This entire conversation has been incredibly confusing to me.
No, you're fine. You've done big things for cheese tonight.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
You can hit Redgrocer up for all kinds of stuff on Red and hang out with him and enjoy yourself. Come on over to Red.
Lettuce, carrots, turnips. We got some jum stock.
Kill someone and bake them in an oven. Good time. Bake their dark elf parts.
Oh, God.
Meat loot, please. The people demand meat loot. I'm gonna make a poll. You'll see.
You'll see. I'll be back and you'll see.
Rogan will have no choice.
Oh, you don't know Rogan very well. Let me tell you something. He's not going to let a thing like poll results change his mind.
I feel like Rogan seems like the kind of guy that would, like, be into meat loots.
Oh, he'd absolutely be into meat loots. What he's not into is the illusion of democracy. Players, we love you, but you guys do not get to run the asylum. I'm sorry.
First, you give him an inch, right?
We don't even give him an inch. We don't give him shit. You get nothing.
Good day, sir.
Good day. Oh, God damn it. All right, we're done.
Thanks for having me, Sirken.
Nirgon,
Have a good night, bud.
It's been a pleasure. Do you want to plug your guild, or do you have a guild website, or where can people go if they're interested in joining an what's the word? Applying is the word. If they're interested in applying to your guild, where would they go?
If you want to submit an application to dominating a no variance Velius, give Colgate, Gong Show, Miley, Constantine, or myself a telling game, and we'll get you on track.
A+. And I believe they also have a guild recruitment thread on the P99 forums, www.project1999.com. Greengrocer, Redgrocer, Portosaurus, Bumfight Master, Nam Santo CEO, and all your other goddamn titles. Where can
That's me.
where can people find you and find these things?
You can find me on Twitch at P99 Greengrocer or P99 Bumfights, and I also threw out a link to the guild page for Namsanto Industries if you're interested in considering bread.
Awesome. Very awesome.
Like I said, he had the most fun on that Goron air raid out of anybody, so give him a try.
It was a blast. Thank you.
and anyone for... Wow, I think I had a stroke at some point tonight. For anyone who hasn't seen the P99 bum fights yet, you have to go check that out immediately as soon as we're done here. Twitch.tv/P99 bum fights. Go there, find his old broadcasts or highlights or whatever they're as, and just watch them. And you don't even have to thank me tomorrow. I know you're thankful already. And that's it. I'm Sirken. Thanks for watching. Hit the follow button if you haven't, and we'll be doing this again next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, as long as Comcast lets us. Bye, everybody.
Later.
I gotta put you guys on hold. Or you can hang up. Nirgon hung up. Alright, they're on hold. We're alone. That's the way I like it. Just you and me and none of them. For real, thanks for watching. And if you want to watch older stuff, past discussions, www.youtube.com/SirkenP99 has all the previous episodes and other stupid little things that have happened. Check out Bloomin' Opinions. It's a little like half-hour thing that me and Uber Bandit do every so often. There's only 2 of them. We're working on trying to make it better. If there's enough interest, we'll keep doing it. And what else? Is there anything else? I don't think there is. We're still doing classic EverQuest better than anyone else on the internet, and you should check it out. If you have any interest at all in PvP or in trying something a little bit different than you might be used to on the blue server, head on over to Red 99 because it's better than it's ever been. And I know I'm biased as shit because I'm on the staff, and people are going to be like, don't listen to him, he's biased as shit because he's on the staff. You don't have to listen to me. You can log in, try it for yourself. You can play both servers at the same time, and when you're just starting off, you're such low level that you can't get PK'd until some level, I don't know, 6 maybe. You'll be fine. Do both, give it a go, and make your own opinions. I think that's it. Let's wrap this rigmarole up. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word. That's okay. We'll be back next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching and following and all the things. You guys make my dark elf heart very warm and fuzzy feeling. Bye, pals.